Hello. So in this video, we're going to look at subsidies. So first of all, we're going to have a look at the definition of a subsidy, and then we're going to look at diagrams that we can use to demonstrate a subsidy. So first of all, the definition with regards to a subsidy. A subsidy is a form of financial support given to producers to reduce their costs of production. And the financial support often is a grant. Okay, so a form of financial support given to producers to reduce their cost of production, commonly a grant. Okay, and the key bit about this definition is it's finance that is given to producers and it reduces their costs of production. So the reduction in costs of production is really, really important. The fact that it reduces those costs of production. So first of all, we'll start off by looking at a supply and demand diagram and demonstrating how a subsidy would work on that. So we've got price, we've got quantity, we've got supply, and we've got demand. We'll label our market equilibrium, where supply is equal to demand. So we've got a quantity Q, and we've got a price of P. So obviously in the case of a subsidy, it reduces the cost of production to firms. So as a result, therefore, firms should be more willing and able to sell at a given price and time, and therefore causes an increase in supply as demonstrated by a shift to the right. The market price falls and the quantity increases. And there we have it. There is the supply and demand diagram showing an outward shift of the supply curve as the subsidy reduces firms' cost of production and causes an increase in supply. Obviously, subsidies are used for merit goods and goods with positive externalities in consumption. And in addition, subsidies could be used where there are positive externalities in production. So we'll also draw diagrams to demonstrate how a subsidy would impact upon those particular diagrams as well. So if we draw the necessary axes, first of all, we'll have a look at a subsidy with positive externalities in production. So this could be subsidizing a flood defense, for example. Price, cost, and benefit. And we've got quantity, and we have two upward sloping curves. We have one downward sloping curve, the downward sloping curve being D equals MPB equals marginal social benefit. The marginal social cost curve is going to be to the right, and we have the marginal private cost equals supply to the left. So the free market equilibrium is at a price of P and a quantity Q, and we have the social optimum at a quantity Q1 and a lower price of P1. So this diagram demonstrates positive externalities in production. The welfare loss would be this particular area A, B, and C. Okay, and with the implementation of a subsidy, this would cause an outward shift of the supply curve. I'm just going to put S plus subsidy. The new market equilibrium is here at this particular point. I'm going to label that D. The new quantity, therefore, is Q2, which we've added in there, and the price is P2. Okay, and then we've got this area DBE, which is the new welfare loss. But as you can quite clearly see, the welfare loss has decreased with the subsidy reducing firms' cost of production and causing an outward shift of the supply curve. The quantities increased, the price has fallen, getting closer to the social optimum price at P1 and social optimum quantity Q1, and the welfare loss has decreased. So that's demonstrating a subsidy when there are positive externalities in production and how it can get closer to the social optimum. And then finally, the third diagram that we're going to have a look at in this particular video is the use of a subsidy on a merit good or a good that has positive externalities in consumption. We've got price, cost, and benefit. We have two downward sloping curves. We have just the one upward sloping curve, that is S equals MPC equals marginal social cost. We have the marginal social benefit to the right, and we have the marginal private benefit equals to demand on the left hand side. And if we draw our diagram, we have Q1, we have P, and we have P1. Okay, so the welfare loss is the area ABC with the free market equilibrium at point A, the social optimum at point B, and if we go up, we've got point C, which is the size of the externality. A to C is the size of the externality, and we therefore know that the area ABC is the welfare loss. Okay, so the ideal subsidy would allow us to reach the quantity Q1. Okay, and again, remember the subsidy is financial support, often in the form of a grant to producers to reduce their costs of production. So it shifts the supply curve. Okay, subsidies shift the supply curve, much like taxes also shift the supply curve. So the ideal subsidy would actually mean that the new supply curve would intersect the demand curve at the social optimum quantity of Q1. So we're going to add our subsidy there, and therefore we've got S plus subsidy. Okay, and therefore as a result we're going to have a no lower price of P2, and what we see a quantity Q1, which is the social optimum quantity, and therefore the welfare loss will be eliminated. Key thing to remember here, subsidies are reducing the cost of production to firms and causing an outward shift of the supply curve. In the next video, we will have a look at analysing a subsidy in relation to these diagrams.